welcome to this week's ITL. Yeah, I'm kind of doing this quick and dirty. Yes. But even though this is going to be released on Sunday, I'll still get out there. As far as the weather goes, it is crappy. It is crappy. It is, right now, you get snow, and more snow. But this Friday it's supposed to be warm. I'm supposed to have a little bit of rain, get rid of some of the snow. Let's hope for it. Okay, one of the things that I actually wanted to talk about this week, I've been keeping really quiet about it because, well, I wanted to make sure that I was kind of talking in the right context, reserve my opinions a little bit on it, a little bit for a while, and I still have a little bit reserved on some of the opinions, but I feel that I know a little bit more about it. And it is actually about these. Yeah, the Balfangs, little cheap Balfangs. It's first place. The FCC made the UV5Rs where you can't buy them, sell them in the United States anymore. You can own them, but you just can't buy them or sell them in the United States. Why? Because these will actually go on frequencies they're not supposed to be. GMS and there's one other one. But anyway, these can actually send and receive on frequencies that were not supposed to be because of the way they're set up, basically with the antennas, and they're just not quality. They're not approved for it. Okay, no problem with me. I don't care about that. As long as I can still use what I own, and I'll be honest with you, you can get the bigger brothers still, and they're still not that expensive. I mean, you're talking still $50, $60. Sometimes depends on where you get them. It really is. And but this was a nice way to get into it for around $20. I mean, it worked. It did its job. Was it great distance out of the yellow box? No, because it was just a little rubber duck antenna. I improved it by adding the Nagoya NA77-1 antenna. That's what I'm running on this, and I have several antennas actually I put on it. Even the little teeny diamond antenna, which it actually works pretty good for close range, but you want to keep the antenna, the whole thing sealed small. Works good for that, but other than that, it's basically a dummy load. And the ham radio operators that watch my videos will understand what that is. But yeah, newest thing came up because basically they're cheap little radios. They're cheap, and you get somewhat. You get what you pay for, and yes, you get the people in the FCC. Basically, you get a lot of radio snobs too. These are total garbage. But at one point in time, there's a lot of YouTubers on YouTube that was actually saying they're good real radios. For the money, they're really good. They'll get you out of a pinch in an emergency, blah, blah, blah. A lot of those YouTubers has actually gone backwards on their word. I don't like that. I don't like that. Especially whenever, if there was a change in them, I can see that. But if they're the same thing for, say, 10 more years, come on. I don't like that. My thoughts and opinions on it is, I'll keep some of them to myself, but other ones I'll let out. But, their wording was, one of them, which I discredited big time. I ain't going to give his name or anything out. But I'll just give a little hint for those people. Little radio operators. He makes himself a J-pole, a copper J-pole he sells. Yeah, he has a little company doing that. You have an idea. But he started off, these can only go a few miles, handful of miles. I've disproved that. With a slight modification, this thing cost me, what, 10, $15 for the antenna, on top of what the cost of the radio. Furthest I've ever put out is 13 point whatever miles. 13 point whatever miles for UHF, VHF, for just a little, basically a walkie-talkie. And that's, I don't live on flat area. This is a little hilly, you know. It's then, I mean, one big thing the FCC's frowning about, they are RFI splatters. Yes, they do. That's the cost, but it was good enough 10-something years ago, but not now. I can understand with everything, everybody wanting to get into the different frequency bands. You got to clean it up a little bit, yeah. You can still use these. It's under your discretion. They say you can interfere with the local, say, digital police departments, the digital fire departments. Yeah, I get that. But if you're going to get into that picky, there is so much electronic, so much interference coming from these our houses alone. I'm talking about our appliances, our desktop computers, our refrigerators, I mean, you're talking so much. Yeah, us as ham radio operators, we tend to go through and put the fair chokes and stuff in to clean these up. That's because we want the cleanest floor we can. We want to clean it up so we can get better audio through our radios and in and out. Yeah, but not my neighbor. Not the other freaking thousands of people living in my town or city. I mean, grow lights alone has been reported on the internet of putting out tremendous RFIs. I mean, come on. Just saying. Just saying. I mean, people, whenever they let off, basically putting down what they boasted for in the first place about these little guys, before they even get into the problems with the RFIs. It kind of makes me unclick their videos. If they keep up with it, I'll eventually probably unsubscribe. They're big enough; it doesn't really matter if they lose one person. I understand that, but I don't need to be watching or hearing their crap about something that they're just posting about just within the last 6 months. Then they turn around and change the color on it. I just will not play that. I will not play that. No. That means you're just drinking the Kool-Aid. And I don't believe in drinking the Kool-Aid. I believe in doing your own homework. Looking into stuff. Are these a good radio? Actually, I still think they are, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I can understand the FCC putting it out for you can't buy or sell them. I can understand that. It goes against their rules. I can understand that. Mine, I can actually still open it up. It's locked down. I programmed it so it's locked out of the frequencies that the FCC does not want us to use, or you have to be licensed to use different license to use. I understand that. I locked mine out. Can't use it. Can I reopen it? Yeah, I can reopen it. Do I want to? Absolutely not. I keep everything on the up and up. Will I use this? Yes, I will. I haven't gotten any complaints. I have police officer friends in the area. I have friends that are in the fire department. And I told them, if there's a problem, there's extra noise, interference, that could be my radio. Let me know. I understand my radio could be out of specs. There's no way to tune it in. Well, you could go above and beyond, and the radio's not worth it. I'll just put it that way. But yeah, it's not. I will still use it, but under that I know it could cause problems, and I do check periodically to make sure it's not causing problems in my area. I figured that's the best way to run with it until I get something that's upgraded that's not going to cause problems. But the thing is, to get something that I know possibly couldn't cause the problems, you're also spending what, $400-$500 or up for a little hand walkie-talkie. No, I don't play that game. Not saying it's wrong if you do. I personally just not going to play that game. I got into the hobby on a budget. I still am on budget. And I'm not going past that budget. I'm not pushing the ceiling. I'm not pushing the ceiling on that stuff. There is other radios I would like to get, that I'm hoping to get for the bike especially, and for home. That's going to cost me still under $100. That is pushed out 20 watts instead of the 4 or 5 watts. Nicer little radios, still UHF, VHF, but for under $100, that's something that I will be saying way in the future. Now, I still be working with my QRP stuff. In fact, this is the radio portion of it. I have in this little Altoid can, for you would recognize, is actually the part I'm working on anyway. The keyer. I gotta get that fixed up and running, and I want to get into more of basically my mind's going on. It's in DAWs. Okay, we'll just put it that way. Morse code. I'll be working with Suburban Rider with that. But what we're going to be working with this little guy will be also be experimenting with the QRPS, and not QRPS, ARPS. That's it. Sorry. And I'll be with the ARPS, and that's to be just another tool in the toolbox, something for me to work with in this hobby. And basically, you just need that radio, a tablet or a cell phone. The cell phone doesn't have a service for a lot of it, and a cord to go between those radios and the cell phone. And you don't even have to have the cord. You can actually technically have the cell phone record or pick up right beside by it with the volume turned up. I'm going to prefer to use the cord because you can always get the outside interference for the audio, and it'll be better. To get me started though, I might just do without the cord. Just get me started. Just to practice, see if that's something I really, really want to do. The cord ain't that bad. It's under $20. But it is what it is. And I figured, this could be a cool, interesting little thing to get into. It's not going to cost me a lot of money to do it either. The bike. I've got some updates for the bike. The bike, is it really needed? Some of it, yes. Some of it, no. I had a heated grip go out on me a couple years ago. It's my left-hand heated grip I installed. The right hand still worked. The left-hand one didn't. Bought a new identical set for it because it lasted me a little while before it went out. That way I could figure out, just replace the left-hand side or the little module thing that goes in the middle to figure out what's going on. Don't have to worry about messing with the right-hand one because it was barely worn, it'd be fine. That changed. That changed because a few years ago I noticed that the handlebars were tweaked a little bit on the left side. It's up and towards me a little bit, and I wanted to get that fixed. Well, I just say I got my hands on a new set of handlebars for it. Those will be getting changed out before springtime. Last summer I made it from, well, it was 110 miles, around 110 miles, give or take a little bit. Trip back home, and the bike, well, the exhaust system was rotted out. It was leaking like crazy. So the way the bike ran, I couldn't get above 35 miles an hour, which made a 2-hour trip about 4 hours. How long? Because I wasn't doing interstate. No, I took these back roads. And there's no hazard lights on that bike. The KLR 650 was not made from the manufacturer with hazard lights. They're getting them. They're getting a set of hazard lights. No, I'm not wiring into my existing turn signals for this. I'm adding separate light system for it to keep it separate. That way, if there's a problem with the wiring in the future or something, it's easily not used or just disconnected until the problem's figured out. And it's not, the lights ain't adding that much to the bike. And even when I'm adding to it, I mean, the whole thing is not that much to the bike, so it's not hurting a sticking thing. There is one other thing, well, a couple other things actually. One major thing that I'll be adding to the bike, and I'm not sure, unless somebody asks me about how to, I mean, I'll go through, break it down and show what I did, but not as I'm doing it. I just find doing those videos with being just me is really, really too hard to make a few-minute video. It takes a lot longer to do the whole job. But I can break it down and show you how I did it. But the bike is getting, I let it out there, it's getting a heated seat, which will be nice for the winter time. But putting a heated seat on that bike means it's not going to be exactly beneficial for me totally, because I'm saying totally, because the heated seat puts more of a direct heat on your, say, your rear end, on your hips areas, and I gotta watch that. I got titanium, and I'm not saying just a titanium hip like a hip replacement. I've actually got titanium going around the back of my pelvis, from almost spine area back to the pelvis, holding me together from a major car accident from May 1989. Actually, I pushed that leg through the pelvis. It just pulverized it into basically dust in most of all the areas. And that made it so I had titanium in there. And I was warned by the doctors, direct heat, like a heating pad, could cook me from the inside out. Don't want that, because you won't really know you're cooking. And you don't know when you're done. There could be a meal going on. I digress about that. But anyway, I gotta make it so it's more of an indirect heat. So what I'm going to do is, my answer to it, and everybody I've talked to is gone along with it, that I'm just going to put a freaking ATV seat cover cushion on it. The bike came with one. I have run one made for quite a long time until just recently. They help for the ride, for the feeling of the ride. During the winter time, I can use the heat. But last summer, I did get my hands on a Airhawk seat cushion for the bike, which it works beautiful. I love it. But it doesn't have to, they're not going to work together in the wintertime. The Airhawk will be removed because it's all local short runs in the wintertime. I'm not going to worry about it. I just want to get that indirect heat. So what I'll do is just put the cushion on, and that'll make it more of an indirect heat going onto me. Don't have to worry about cooking myself, because this thing has this high and low on the switch for the heated seat. Did all the homework, made sure it's going to work. It should work out fine. The kit I got was not a test kit. It's not a high-end kit. It's a Chinese aftermarket kit. I had to do some minor adjustments to the kit, but it'll work. It'll work just fine. Now, I will be upgrading some of the wiring underneath the front fairing of the bike due to I use, instead of using a fuse block, I use inline fuses, they'll work, but I'm changing to a fuse block. Everything else will work. But I figured this. I'll go ahead and put this out. This is the ITL. Hope you all have a great week. This is Muzzle Mike, signing out.